Thank you so much for joining me today, Amy. And for those of you who don't know her, Amy is the co-founder and chief impact officer at Seismic. Now, Seismic are an international team of sustainability experts on a mission to help businesses prosper by becoming a force for good, bringing together B Corp experts, net zero advisors, communications consultants, and sustainability strategists to help businesses lead the shift. Today, we're going to talk about a topic I know Amy has a wealth of knowledge on, B Corp. Amy has been instrumental in the launch and growth of the B Corp movement since 2015. Not only was she the very first B Corp consultant in the UK and has supported hundreds of companies to certify, she also co-designed the B Leaders training programs in partnership with B Lab and has trained over 360 B leaders in the UK and Europe since. Today, I'm going to be speaking to Amy about how to achieve and maintain B Corp status and how to balance growth with genuinely sustainable practice. So, Amy, while lots of our listeners may know this, start by telling us a little bit about when B Corp first came about and how you actually become a B Corp.
Thank you so much, Ali. Pleasure to be chatting to you about this today, my favorite topic of B Corp. So B Corp actually launched in 2007 in the States. It was launched by 3 business leaders who had grown and led a very successful, commercially successful business. And they'd done that in the 90s with social and environmental impact really at the heart of their business before CSR and sustainability and all of these things were kind of a thing. And they sold their business, and within a few kind of months of selling the business, the new owners had stripped out all of the social impact, all of the values, all of the great treatment of employees, etc. And as founders of this company, they hated that had happened, and they wanted to build a movement and a change in business that showed that you can have both. You can have purpose as well as profit, and actually focusing on purpose oftentimes helps you to increase your profit. And so they wanted to create a new way of doing business, which showed that yes, you can and should care about profit, but you can do that while having people and planet alongside profit in consideration with it. And it's blossomed from what was a few companies in 2007 to now over 7,000 companies globally around the world, becoming B Corps in many countries. And how you become a B Corp. So the B Corp certification journey is built around the B Impact Assessment, or the BIA. It's a free online platform that is a questionnaire that has questions across 5 different pillars. So those pillars are governance, customers, workers, community, and environment. And it measures your performance across your policies and practices in those areas. Every question is scored, and you need to get a minimum of 80 points in order to be eligible to certify. And then you need to verify your performance. It's not easy to do that. So 80 points is quite a high standard. The average score for companies when they start on their journey is 50 points. So it's very common that companies will need to work on implementing improvements before they get to the stage where they can be a B Corp, which is great because it means that it encourages companies to, first of all, understand their impact, but second of all, to improve upon it to get to a high standard of performance. And it's tough, like 52% of companies who go on that journey and submit their assessment are not successful in their first round of certification. But it is possible. We've helped many of our clients to get there, and actually 100% of them have done it on the first attempt. So it is possible. It just takes a lot of attention and effort.
So much that I could unpack there, but I want to really drill down into what it actually means to be a B Corp. I know we've got so many sustainable businesses tuned in, and I'm sure they might be wondering why it's so important, if you're a sustainable business, to be a B Corp, to certify. And I know you're a wealth of knowledge on that. So yeah, tell us more.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting one on like why it's important if you're a sustainable business. I think if you are already a sustainable business, and actually what does that mean? None of us are fully sustainable, but if you're a business that's already embracing sustainability and has a lot of performance, strong performance in that area, then B Corp is a way for you to articulate who you are and what you're doing. It's a way for you to kind of verify that you are meeting these high standards. And it's also a way for you to kind of like find your people. It's a beautiful kind of community to be a part of. And so it really kind of pulls you in with other like-minded businesses where you can collaborate and learn from each other. But the thing that to be really clear on is that B Corp isn't just for businesses that are already doing well, or sustainable businesses. So you've got the kind of obvious choices like the Innocents and the Patagonias out there, but also there's a lot of companies who are not yet doing well in this area and who recognize that they want to do better and they need to do better, but it's really hard to know what that means, where to start. It's quite daunting. And so being a B Corp or going on the B Corp journey is really helpful for those companies who might not identify as being sustainable or being impactful, because it helps them to make sense of it. It helps them to understand, where are we now? What are we doing well in? What do we need to be doing better in? And how can we go on that journey? So it helps you to really kind of get a framework and an understanding and accountability for performing and improving your impact.
When we spoke prior to this call, you kind of explained it in that way to me, and I've heard it before, but I think it finally suddenly clicked that, B Corp is more than just a certification. It's that framework for businesses to know where they can improve their sustainability credentials. And I thought that was really interesting, and it's such a large part of what being a B Corp is. So why do you think that can be so helpful and is so important for both the kind of bigger businesses like you spoke about, but also smaller scale companies?
Yeah, like I said, it just can provide that framework. Also, it tailors, the assessment is tailored to companies based on their size and sector. So size by number of employees, and sector based on, are you a manufacturer or are you a service-based industry, etc. And so it's really helpful from that point of view to give you that kind of tailored support. It's also really helpful because it puts you in touch with a set of kind of resources and like-minded businesses. But as you say, if you want to certify, that's great. And we definitely encourage companies to certify, but you don't have to certify. You can still just use that tool, use the B Impact assessment as something to kind of spark engagement internally. A lot of our clients use the B Impact assessment to kind of inform their overall sustainability strategies and set their goals internally. But if you do become a B Corp, or if you're just performing well from a sustainability point of view and an ESG point of view, there's so many benefits apart from obviously just doing the right thing and becoming a better business. But, it helps you to attract employees, and not just employees, but actually there's stats to show that it helps you attract a better quality of employees who stick around and are more invested in your business. It also helps you to attract investors. So if you're looking to grow as an organization or attract investors, it helps you to attract more investors, but also those who are kind of more aligned with your values and who you are and how you want to grow as an organization. We all know that it resonates with customers. So, 76% of people think that business has a responsibility to people and planet, and that helps to prove that you're doing that. And also we see that B Corps and companies with strong ESG strategies grow a lot faster, both from an employee headcount point of view and from a revenue point of view than companies who aren't engaging with that. So there's a lot of benefits and a lot of reasons why, it just makes sense to engage in this whole process and world.
Those stats are so fascinating, and it does make sense, actually, if you're investing in your business and making sure that your framework is truly sustainable. I can see how it would benefit all other aspects of your business. Now, the question everyone wants to know the answer to: how do you stay a B Corp after you've certified? Many certify. There are over 1,500 certified B Corps in the UK alone, but many may find it difficult to balance kind of growth and truly sustainable practice. So do you have any tips?
Mm-hmm. It's such a good point. It's a really important thing for companies to consider and bear in mind. I think quite often people get really, which I totally understand why, they get really caught up in certification and getting to that goal of certifying. But that is only the beginning of the journey, even though it might feel like the end, and it feels like a huge thing. It is a big milestone, but it's only the start. And, becoming a B Corp is about something that should be a kind of permanent way of how you behave and how you do business. And that takes a lot of energy and effort to maintain. So it's really about, it's really just about embedding it into the business. And that starts with engaging all of your stakeholders in the journey, not just having either B Corp or sustainability be something that sits with one or two people or one team. It can't just be something that's in a silo. It's got to be something that, yes, maybe there's a team or a project manager that oversees it, but it falls into the business as a whole. So instead of your sustainability strategy only, why not build it into your corporate strategy? Instead of it just falling to your sustainability lead or somebody like that, have there be sustainability KPIs built into every person's role, from HR to supply chain, etc. And really kind of make it fun. I think that some of our clients do this really well. Innocent Drinks is one of our longest standing clients, and they have what they call beekeepers, who are their internal champions, and they build it into everybody's company bonus. So it's built into their company scorecard, which means that whether you're the most senior or the most junior person in the team, your bonus is linked to that. And we've helped them build fun tools like an office promise, which means that wherever you're located in the world, or whatever your role is, there's something that will resonate with you and your role. So I think just not seeing it as a separate task, getting everyone involved and making it fun, and reaching out to the community. Like I said, there's so many, wonderful B Corps, and you mentioned, 1,500 here in the UK. The UK is actually the fastest growing B Corp community in the world, which is really cool. And there's so many fun ways that you can get involved. There's practical, useful, educational things like working groups and workshops. And then there's also fun stuff like bee socials, where you can just come together with other like-minded people, have a drink, have a chat. Lots of collaboration opportunities. So just dig in, get involved, have fun.